13, the max extension to stay in LA in an attempt to unseat the Lakers for the NBA title. The 4-year extension means that 30-year-old Paul George will be a Clipper through the prime of his career. Kawhi's 29, locked up only through this season, becoming a free agent in 2021. Kendrick Perkins back here with us. Stephen A., starting with you. If PG-13 and Kawhi are at their best, can they beat the Lakers this season?
I think if they're at their best, first of all, I don't think anybody's going to beat the Lakers. But if they're at their best, I think they've got a shot. Is it this Kawhi Leonard? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Kendrick Perkins. Is it Kawhi Leonard the best player on the planet? Oops, I'm sorry. Or was it whoops, Kendrick Perkins? I'm not sure what Max was saying. I'm not sure, Kendrick. But if Kawhi Leonard without the oops or the whoops, if Kawhi Leonard without the whoops or the oops is the best player in the world, and Paul George is hell-bent on resurrecting himself, this ain't the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s where you could throw it down low to Shaq and, drop step elbows yamming on your mug. It's a new day. It's a new era. Perimeter play on an extremely high level can knock off a lot of people, and no matter how great they are. I'm saying that's what it would take. I don't think it will happen by any stretch of the imagination. I got the Lakers as a favorite by damn near a mile. But if the best of PG and the best of Kawhi showed up, it could be very, very interesting.
I hate to do it, Stephen A., but I agree with you here. Loath as I am to agree with you. I think they could. Here's the problem. I don't believe in Paul George in the playoffs. So, the answer is no. But if Paul George played as well as he could play in the playoffs, if he elevated somehow, because some players actually elevate in the playoffs, like usually Kawhi Leonard. In fact, he did it again in these playoffs, except for in that Game 7. And I know, Perk, you thought I was wrong and you were right about LeBron no longer being the best, but you had Kawhi as second best. I mean, Kawhi is an elite MVP caliber player, and when it matters most, he's usually among the best you'll ever see in the playoffs. So you have that. Can Paul George do something like that? Paul George in the regular season ain't that much worse than Kawhi. Can he be some version of Kawhi in the playoffs? Because then when you look at the team, look, LeBron's not going to be young forever, right? Eventually you would think, all people decline with age eventually. Stephen A. just brought it up, the perimeter game. Two attacking wings, two-way wings especially, that's tough to beat. Jordan and Pippen and LeBron and D. Wade, right? That's tough to beat. And then you look at what else the Clippers did. Ibaka can defend and shoot. So can Morris. Defend and shoot. Kennard is an upgrade over Shamet. He could do more things, and he can also shoot. They have shooting. And then finally, the Lakers lost Rondo. I like the Schroeder move a lot. I think Schroeder's an upgrade during the regular season. It remains to be seen in the playoffs, because one thing we know about Rondo is playoff Rondo is real. When it came down to it, the Lakers had two MVP caliber players and an all-star caliber player in Rondo. Rondo's not there anymore. So would it be possible? Yes, it would be possible.
Hell no. Hell no. Look, Kawhi at his best and PG at his best is not matching up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis at their best. And Stephen, I heard you go to the point when you was talking about how it's a perimeter league now where it's guard play and wings. Well, look, it's Anthony Davis. He is a Shaquille O'Neal. He is a Kevin Garnett. He is a generational talent, something that we've never seen before. And the worst thing that could have happened to the NBA, not just the Clippers, but the entire NBA, is that AD got to test the waters and went all the way to win a championship, meaning he went through the highs and the lows of being battle tested and testing those waters. So when you look at what Anthony Davis was doing in the playoffs, what he did to Portland, what he did to Houston, what he did to Denver, he killed those bigs in the low post. He took them outside. He did everything he wanted to do. At his best, at Anthony Davis' best, he is arguably the best player in the league and could possibly be an MVP candidate for the next 5 years. And by the way, this is a guy just hitting his prime at 27 years old. So, no, I'm looking at Anthony Davis, and he's the common denominator in this whole argument. He is the best in the league for us being able to use his skill set at that height being able to defend 1 through 5s on the defensive end, and he is the one that separates the two between the Lakers and the Clippers.
Well, KP, it's something important that I want you to recognize here. First of all, the question was PG and Kawhi's best game. That's number one. Number two, we're still not picking them to beat the Lakers. Nobody's picking them to beat the Lakers. We understand that the Lakers are better.
That's
Nobody's
what I said.
disputing that. Yeah, but what I'm saying is when you look at PG and Kawhi, let's pay attention to something. When we ask the question, their best, we're assuming in terms of their best on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively. And even though there is no answer for AD, you have to remember they're stronger because you ain't taking AD down low. You're not going to be a monster in the interior with him. The nightmare for him is somebody that can jack up shots from long range and somehow, some way, even if their eyes are closed and they praying, somehow it's going in from 30. That's the problem for AD. That's the problem for LeBron. And what I'm saying is, even though I don't believe for 1 second it's going to happen, if you have two guys that can play on an elite level like they're capable of playing, and they bring their A-plus game to the equation, I will say this, the Clippers are the number one threat to the Lakers under those circumstances. Would you say that?
No, not really. No, I would not say that, because for the simple fact that, Stephen A., you go back to the first series that the Lakers played the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 1.
Right.
We was telling Anthony Davis that he needs to dominate in the interior. Game 2, he did just that. And he carried it on. Even in the Rocket series, he was dominating in the paint, getting dunk after dunk, setting up shop on the low block. And that's what I'm saying. AD at his best is better than a Paul George at his best. Now, you could say Kawhi
I know that.
at their best maybe wash each other out. And then what I'm saying is, on top of that, the Lakers have the better roster. How do you win the championship and you go and upgrade more than the Los Angeles Clippers, who didn't even meet that goal?
All right, the Lakers won 2 of 3 against the Clippers last season, but all games were close, but decided by 10 points or less. We're going to continue this conversation after the break here on First.
Gasol, KCP, Keefe, but that's okay. We got to see some of the new Lakers. We got to see some of the younger, older Lakers, THT and Kuz still on the team. A lot of fun, James, for a preseason game playing against the Clippers. Everyone just kind of feeling it out. Lakers get the win. Played hard.
Talk about a quick turnaround for the Lakers. You know, it seems like last week we're in here celebrating the championship, and here they are playing their first preseason game. I like what I saw. It's just for the coaches to look at players and give them an opportunity to learn the system. I really like the potential of what Tucker can bring to this team. You know, he has that wingspan, 7-foot defensive player, not afraid to go through the hole. Montrose, we saw, him get some good run in. Schroeder, of course, is going to be the point guard. So, we got a snapshot of a first game against a crosstown team that we're going to see again on Sunday. So, everything we expected in a preseason game 1.
Rob, is going to take some time, right? You're going to see both teams commit turnovers, maybe some sloppy play, getting used to shooting in arenas with no fans and that depth perception. But what did you think about the first game? What were some of the things you were looking for?
I was looking for some continuity going on in this game, and you can still see this. It's still early. Then a lot of new faces, and you got to think about it. You still don't have 3 of your big dogs in this game, well, 4, counting KCP. So this is going to be a game of learning, and I hope the guys on the bench are watching the guys that are out there now and saying, okay, this is what I can do to help them, and talking to each other, because it's all about communication right now, because they're learning each other and they need to talk about it. And it's going to also be about film sessions and understanding what I did wrong and what I can help the other guy to be better. So, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, because you got Schroeder, you got Harold, those 2 guys, 1 and 2 as far as 6-man, they were very productive.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them in a little bit. First, let's go back to Staples Center. THT is with Mike Trudell.
All right, Talen Horton-Tucker kind enough to join us after this opening win in the preseason. Talen, look, Frank Vogel told on you. He said that you've been really kicking some butt, in his words, in practice the last several days. Where's the confidence coming from? How are you feeling about the development of your game at this point?
I'm really just kind of come out here and play, just do whatever, the team needs me to do, fulfill any void that they need. And I just want to come out here and play my hardest, whenever I get the opportunity, capitalize on it.
There were a lot of moves today. You were getting into the paint and really, bumping guys off, not looking like a 20-year-old. How much of that has always been in your game, and how have you evolved that to be able to do it at the NBA level?
I feel like I started off pretty slow, so just being able to, find the rhythm and play, it's pretty good for me. Just being able to showcase my skills and, just use, whatever it takes to just try and get the win. So I feel like I did that tonight. It was pretty good.
Talen, you were the second youngest player in the NBA last season. Of course, you guys go all the way through the longest season in NBA history to win the title. What did you learn alongside LeBron, alongside AD, all of the vets, Dudley, and so on? What did you learn last season that you can apply for this one?
Just how to be a professional, take every game serious, treat it like it's your last, just be a champion. I feel like, being in the bubble was a great learning experience for me, and I just wanted to capitalize on that, coming into this season.
All right, last thing for you. What do you think of some of your new teammates? You got to see Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, and Wesley Matthews all out on the floor tonight. How do you think those guys can help this season?
They're going to be really big for us. They're here, and they are who they are. I feel, really confident in them. Just getting started today, I felt really good playing with them. And, I'm excited to see what the rest of the year holds.
All right, Talen, good to see you guys back out on the floor. We appreciate your time. Have a good one, all right?
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, well, we're going to talk about some of the new guys, but let's talk THT first. He got the walk-off interview with the win. Rob, aggressive, not afraid to attack. He's trying to show he belongs in the rotation. He's not afraid to take shots either.
Oh, he's not afraid to take shots. He's not afraid to challenge anybody. And that's the thing. When you see rookies, sometimes they can be a little hesitant. I know he's not a rookie, but he's still young. In my eyes, he's still a rookie because he's not even 20 yet. He ain't on the 5 year yet. Yeah, so he's going out and doing what he does in practice and carrying it over to the game. It's all about carryover and having that confidence. You saw one move where he went between his legs like 3 or 4 times, put the body into him. That's a vet move. That's what he's been watching LeBron. He's been watching all these guys in practice. He's been that sponge, and he's learning the game. And it's no better person than learn from LeBron and then have LeBron over there cheering you on. That gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, you were watching the game, and you kept saying, maybe got a steal here.
Yeah, I think,
Late in the draft.
Every now and then you get that sleeper, not that highly sought out of college. They come into, they're hungry. They got a little chip on their shoulder. We talked about his wingspan, 7 feet. He's 6'4", 234 pounds, Geeter. He's not a small kid, and he's under control. He's going to create a lot of mismatch problems. I just love what I see out of him on both ends of the court. But offensively, he's always under control, not afraid to score, and defensively, he can fill the gaps and guard. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to implement him into some playing. He and Kuz could be battling in practice, like Rob was just telling me. That's going to be very competitive.